Hello and all, welcome to another episode of MMA Vision Analysis. This one we're talking possibilities for Michael Venom Page. Is it possible for us to see Michael Venom Page face off against a Khamzat Chimaev after a fantastic performance in that middleweight division? In what I believe, really, the introduction of Michael Venom Page to his natural division in the UFC, the middleweight division. He looked very impressive against Shada. We're going to talk about the possibility of this happening. Before getting started, make sure to like, subscribe, click that notification to get all it is that is new from this channel, your channel, the one and only MMA Vision Analysis. Michael Venom Page looked very impressive against Shada. I was very confused by the performance of the latter, in all honesty. He did come out with some statements after the fight, and he claims that he was dealing with a quote-unquote nightmarish injury leading up to the fight. It's easy for us to, give reasons and excuses. Me personally, I'm not talking about Shada. At the end of the day, Michael Venom Page, we have to give the guy credit. Fantastic performance after the Ian Gary fight was an underwhelming performance, and I think Ian Gary, was phenomenal in his game plan in defeating Michael Venom Page. He won a decision, if I'm not mistaken, in a 3-round fight against Michael Venom Page at 170, in which Ian Gary was able to utilize his wrestling and ultimately paid dividends. Obviously, the very first fight, I believe, for Michael Venom Page was against Kevin Holland, and that was somewhat of an anticlimactic fight. This one here, Michael Venom Page, when I'm talking about Michael Venom Page versus Shada, obviously, it was a fantastic performance. This is actually what Michael Venom Page, for those that are not familiar with the style, those are glimpses of what Michael Venom Page can do. We're yet to see a Michael Venom Page highlight reel in the UFC, but the guy is a literal highlight reel, right? So 185, fantastic performance against Shada, an uprising opponent and former undefeated guy. Like I said, I was kind of confused by the guy's performance, but at the end of the day, he was in the fight, trying to strike with probably the best striker, one of the best strikers in the UFC currently, and just confusing for me that he didn't utilize wrestling. Anyways, long story short, after that performance, is it possible for us to see Michael Venom Page against top contenders? I do understand that it's a reach to ask for Michael Venom Page versus Khamzat Chimaev, but all I'm saying is that this would make for a fascinating fight. And there are many options for Michael Venom Page at this point. Obviously, Robert Whittaker option would not be so bad. Paulo Costa. In that middleweight division, I believe Michael Venom Page has many options. But the one that would interest me most, to be honest, is Khamzat Chimaev fight. Just because of the two characters that these two gentlemen are, whether it's Chimaev or Michael Venom Page, they're both very intense characters. In a way, obviously, leading up to fights, Michael Venom Page is not so intense. He's very captivating, to say the least. So this would make a lot of noise. I thought Chimaev versus Izzy, if Izzy would have won that Nusrat Imavov fight, would have been a good option. But in terms of, just entertainment for us, the fans. But I believe this one here, I don't think it's like out of the realm of possibility, but at the same time, realistically, we're talking about fighters, in two different places in that middleweight division. Obviously, according to some sources, Chimaev is up next for that title. I somehow have doubts about that. We'll probably see Chimaev against one more person before he gets to a title, but we can also see him fight for a title in his very next fight. That's also very possible. Now, that being said, the Michael Venom Page fight could actually happen. I mean, it could have. Why not? Why not? But would that mean that Michael Venom Page gets a title shot if he was to beat Chimaev? Obviously not. But Chimaev maybe, fights for a title after Michael Venom Page, or maybe that even puts him out of the equation. I don't know. I know this fight doesn't make sense in terms of ranking, but in terms of entertainment value, this fight would be absolutely wild. If you made it this far, I appreciate it for sticking around. Please let me know what you think in the comments. I'd like to subscribe for more.